Welcome to Star Lens, your trusted source for the real reasons behind royal actions. Right now, as this story begins, Prince Harry is back on British soil. Not for a royal event, not for charity, not for healing old family wounds. He didn't come home because he wanted to. He came home because he had to. This is the same man who sat in front of cameras and accused his own family of cruelty. The same man who signed Netflix deals, tearing apart the institution that raised him. The same man who walked away from royal protection, royal systems, and royal silence. And now suddenly he's back. When someone who burns every bridge turns around and runs toward the fire again, it's never because things are calm. It's because something has gone wrong behind the scenes. Something big, something that can't be handled by California publicists or glossy PR statements. Subscribe to Star Lens now. Don't miss why Harry is really back. ***, whatever is happening isn't public yet, but Harry knows it's coming and he knows once it breaks, it won't be something he can explain away with interviews or carefully written speeches. This isn't about fixing a reputation. This is about survival. Because the man Harry spent years calling toxic is suddenly the only institution powerful enough to protect what's coming next. The reason for this sudden panic begins thousands of miles away inside a prison cell in Florida. Ghislaine Maxwell is serving a 20-year federal sentence. Her empire is gone. Her influence is gone. Her future is already written. And that's exactly what makes her dangerous. When someone still has power, they stay quiet to protect it. When someone still has allies, they stay quiet to survive. But Maxwell has neither. According to multiple sources referenced in the narrative you just heard, she has begun speaking about the past. Not in vague terms, not in whispers, but in names. Real names. People who moved through the same elite social world she helped build alongside Jeffrey Epstein. ***. Stay tuned to Star Lens. We reveal what Maxwell is saying. ***. For decades, Maxwell wasn't just a socialite. She was a gatekeeper. She understood who belonged where, who gained access, and who stayed invisible. She knew how powerful men moved where they relaxed, and most importantly, who was placed near them. Now sitting in a cell with nothing left to lose, silence no longer serves her. And when someone like that decides to talk, the shockwaves don't start in tabloids. They start in private phone calls, emergency meetings, flights booked quietly in the middle of the night. One of the names allegedly referenced is sending those shockwaves straight into Monarchy. Not the Duchess, not the humanitarian brand, but a version of Meghan Markle from a time before all of that existed. To understand how these worlds connected, you need to understand Soho House. On the surface, it looks harmless. A trendy members club for creatives, stylish interiors, artistic crowds, a place where filmmakers, actors, and designers gather to network. But behind that branding, it served another purpose. Soho House was a corridor, a quiet passageway between worlds that normally don't mix openly. Hollywood and finance, new money and old power, people who were known and people who preferred to stay invisible. According to sources, Meghan was flown internationally for Soho House openings, including a notable one in Istanbul in 2015. She wasn't the star of the event. She wasn't the reason cameras were there. She was what insiders refer to as social filler. Don't forget to subscribe to Star Lens for explosive revelations. That doesn't mean unimportant. It means functional. Someone who makes a room feel alive. Someone who fills seats. Someone who helps create the atmosphere powerful people expect when they arrive. And these openings weren't random parties. They attracted wealthy men who valued discretion, figures adjacent to royalty, financiers who understood that real influence doesn't happen on red carpets. It happens in private rooms where nothing is recorded. What raised eyebrows even back then was the lifestyle attached to this access. International flights, high-end accommodations, a level of movement that didn't quite match a cable television salary. No one confronted her. No one accused her. In those circles, you don't ask questions, you just notice. And years later, when the same woman stands on a palace balcony as a duchess, those memories don't disappear. They reframe themselves. Because Soho House wasn't just where Meghan moved, it was also where other worlds overlapped. Worlds connected to Epstein's circle, worlds connected to British royalty, Worlds that at the time seemed separate but now look uncomfortably close. And once you see how those rooms worked, the fairy tale begins to feel less like destiny and more like positioning. Before anyone ever questioned timelines or photographs, there was something much quieter. People noticed, but they didn't talk. According to the narrative, colleagues from Meghan's television work began privately wondering how she was living the way she was living. Not out of jealousy, not out of gossip, out of math. **** Star Lens bringing you the truth behind the luxury lifestyle. International flights, luxury accommodations, constant mobility. This wasn't occasional travel. It was a lifestyle. And it didn't line up with what a supporting actress on a cable show was typically earning at the time. No one accused her of anything. In those circles, that would have been inappropriate. Instead, people did what humans always do when something doesn't add up. They remembered because memory is patient. It doesn't demand answers right away. It waits until context arrives. And years later, when that same woman is standing beside a prince, memory starts asking questions again. At this point, it would be easy to treat Meghan's story as unique. Instead, it introduces a pattern. Princess Sofia of Sweden had a documented past in glamour modeling and elite party circuits, with sources alleging proximity to Epstein-linked environments as early as 2005. Moteret publicly apologized in 2019 for maintaining a friendship with Jeffrey Epstein, calling it poor judgment. Both women married into royalty. Both had pasts that were inconvenient. Both pasts were quietly absorbed once crowns entered the picture. This isn't about shaming anyone. It's about recognizing how institutions behave. Royal families don't pretend pasts don't exist. They manage them. They contain them. They bury them beneath ceremony, duty, and silence. And once you see that pattern, Meghan's story stops feeling isolated. It starts looking familiar. Subscribe now to Star Lens. We expose the patterns. Others ignore ***. Then comes the moment where everything shifts from suspicion to seriousness. During the civil case brought by Virginia Jabari, the woman whose testimony ultimately destroyed Prince Andrew's public standing, Meghan Markle's name nearly entered the courtroom, not as a defendant, as a witness. That distinction matters. Witnesses aren't accused of crimes. They are people who may have seen something, heard something, been present during critical moments. According to court-related sources, there were 3 reasons Meghan was considered. First, she lived in the United States, making jurisdiction simple. Second, she was described as having been a close associate of Prince Andrew during a specific period, not a casual acquaintance. And third, she was said to have been present within Jeffrey Epstein's social environment during the years when abuse was actively occurring. That's not gossip. That's legal positioning. Ultimately, she was not called. But the fact that her name reached that level of consideration changed everything. It meant investigators with subpoena power looked at her history and believed she might know something worth asking about. And now, with Galilee and Maxwell allegedly talking, those questions don't disappear, they multiply. Star Lens, your window into the legal threats facing the Sussexes. This brings us back to the man who fled California for the one place he swore he'd never need again. Prince Harry didn't return to the UK for forgiveness. He returned because the royal family knows how to survive scandals that don't end with headlines, but begin with testimony. They have lawyers. They have fixers. They have centuries of experience making problems shrink instead of explode. Harry walked away from all of that. He called it cruel. He called it toxic. He dismantled it publicly. And now, for the first time, he may need it more than ever. Because if Ghislaine Maxwell keeps talking, this doesn't end with gossip. It doesn't end with opinion pieces. It ends with questions asked under oath. And there's one question that matters more than all the rest. What did Harry know? And when did he know it? If he knew about his wife's past, then he helped protect it. If he didn't, then he walked blindly into a risk that now threatens everything he built. Either way, the fairy tale is over. This isn't about jealousy. This isn't about tabloids. This is about who was in the room, who saw what, and whether silence protected power for too long. The past is done being quiet, and Harry knows it. This was Star Lens uncovering why Harry made his desperate return. Subscribe now and hit the bell icon so you never miss the truth behind royal panic. Stay connected with Star Lens, where we reveal what's really at stake.